Hi guys, it's Alyssa again, and I know some of you wanted to hear about my Walker Stalker Atlanta experience. I'm finally filming that and just getting it out of the way. So we decided to leave that Friday and head over to the con we probably left about like 10 in the morning, and since it's a 5 hour drive for us, so we probably got to the convention center after all the stops we made, probably like 4 o'clock. Didn't get finished in the hotel and get everything packed and head back to the convention center till like 6 o'clock. So me and my mom were walking to the convention center, and we had never been in Atlanta before. Like, we were very confused, like, where everything was. And basically everybody just told us it's like 3 or 4 blocks down from where our hotel was. So we start walking down, and my mom's just like, where are we going? What do we do? And we found this one couple that was walking on the sidewalk, and they had VIP badges. I'm like, oh, okay, let's just ask them. And they're like, oh yeah, you can follow us. We're headed back. And I was already trying to hurry up because the convention was going to close in like 2 hours. So we finally went through, and God, that convention center is so confusing. Like, it's just confusing. If you ever go, you'll just be lost. Trust me. So we went to will call, we got our badges and everything, we went through security, and we finally made it to the convention. So the first thing I did was I ran to Lenny James' line, who plays Morgan, and waited a little bit there. I met this really, really nice lady in line. You guys can follow her. I'll put her Instagram in the description. But so I finally got up to Lenny, and he was so nice. And my mom wanted to get a video for one of her friends, if he could say hi to one of her friends, and he was totally cool about it. I'll see if I can find the video and put it in here. But overall, he was such a sweet guy. We were talking about the upcoming episode, which was, I believe it was The Well that was coming up. I'm not too sure. And so we were just talking about that in his episode with Melissa, and if he, like, how it was like filming that and everything. And he was really looking forward to that premiering that Sunday. So after that, I was just planning on meeting Lenny, and that was it. But I actually wanted to meet Irony Singleton, who played T-Dog. I had met him in Chicago about like 2 years earlier, and I never got a picture with him. I just did a meet and greet, and I was really upset I didn't get a picture because I didn't have enough money on me. So I decided this year I was just going to get a picture with him. And he is honestly the most down-to-earth person you will ever meet. He is so friendly. My mom just thought he was like the coolest guy, and he was giving us hugs, and he was just telling us, oh, thank you for, coming and seeing me. And he had a t-shirt at his booth for sale, and I was just asking him about that, and he was talking to us about it. And my mom's like, oh, can you record, if you could say hi to one of our friends in a video? And he was just like, oh yeah. He was like nodding. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll also put that in here too.
Kaylin and Leslie, how are you? Watch me. Uh-oh, that guy's photobombing us up there. You see that? I wish you were here. I'm so sad that you're missing out. I love you too. I'm hanging out here with Angie and Alyssa. We're having a ball at the Walker Stalker Con Atlanta. But they'll tell you all about it, okay? Love you. Bye. Mwah.
But he was so nice about it. And when we were leaving, I was leaving his booth, and he started actually calling out to me. And he's like, oh, hey, Alyssa. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And he's like, how's school going? And I'm like, oh, it's going great. And he's just like, oh, right, that's awesome. That's awesome. And while I was leaving, so everybody's booth was like staring at me as I was like walking away, which was kind of awkward, I guess. But after that, we wanted to see Josh McDermott, but he was actually in a photo op at the time. So we just decided we'd go look around at the vendors for a little bit. I was on a hunt to find a bigger poster, kind of like that one up there, of Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And I finally found one, and then after that, we went to Josh's line, and he was back by that time. So we were waiting in line for a little bit, and I was debating on getting like an autograph in a selfie combo or just a selfie. I didn't honestly get out that many autographs this time around, but I got a selfie with him. So we were up next, and my mom was just like fixing my hair, and I'm just like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" She's like, she's like, "Just shush. I'm gonna fix your hair, okay?" I'm like, "All right." So by that time, she's still fixing my hair, and Josh turns towards us. I'm like, "Oh, sorry, she's just fixing my hair." And then Josh came and he started like brushing my hair and like pushing out of my face, and then he started like touching my face, and then he tried to pull me in for a kiss, and I didn't know what was going on until I saw his face get really close to mine, and I just like backed out last minute because I'm just very, very awkward. And he was really, really funny guy. I had made a poster for my friend Carla, and I was too nervous to ask him for a video because I don't know, to people who ever like ask like, "Oh, can you get me a video of so and so saying hi to me?" When you're getting those videos, it is so like intimidating, I guess. Just asking them, because I'm just afraid that they'll say no and then I'll feel bad. But I had this sign for my friend Carla, and it says, "We love you, Carla." And so I asked him if we could hold it up in a picture, and he's like, "Oh yeah, sure." And then he actually pulled out, he grabbed my phone and he switched it over to video, and he started, saying, "Oh, hey, Carla, we love you. If you guys saw that video, I'll post it in here. If you don't follow me on Instagram."
Hey, Carla. We love you.
We love you, Carla. So I just thought that was like the coolest thing. So we took a few pictures with the sign, and then he's like, "All right, let's take some other selfies." And then we got some more selfies, and he was just the nicest guy. He was so, so cool. Yeah, but if you ever get a chance to meet him, definitely do it, because he's super funny too. So after that, we looked around the vendors a little bit more, and we had to leave because the con was already closing. So we went back, good time. And actually, when we were at the vendors, my mom bought a foam Lucille bat. The con, they wouldn't let you bring in like any that bats that were made of wood or metal. So they had sold foam ones there. So my mom's like, "Oh, you should get the signed by Jeffrey tomorrow." I'm like, I wasn't too sure if I was gonna be able to meet him because I knew his line was gonna be crazy. So the next morning, we got up. We headed out again, and probably waited about like 30 minutes, and then the con finally opened. And so when I went in there, I knew that I wanted to wait on meeting Jeffrey because I had a photo op with Melissa at like 10 o'clock, and I got in there at like 9 o'clock. And I just knew that he probably wasn't going to come right at 9 o'clock, and it was going to take forever to get all the platinums through and the gold in front of me. And I just didn't want to waste my time waiting in his line if I'd have to get out of it to go to Melissa's op and then go back. So I was walking around, and I was just like totally lost of who to line up for, and I just knew that nobody would be there for a while. So I finally just decided that I would line up in Jeffrey's line. By the time I started walking over there was like other general VIPs, and they were like sprinting over to his line. And so I saw them sprinting. I just started running towards his line, and I was towards the back of the gold, which kind of sucked, but I'm just like, okay, if I waste my time here, it doesn't matter. I don't care. So Jeffrey probably came about like 9:30ish, and he got through everybody, and I was able to get through before my op with Melissa. So I got my autograph, and I got an autograph for my friend's nephew, and then my mom wanted an autograph too because she wasn't in yet because she was general admission. So I went up to his manager, paid for the autographs, used one of my vouchers, and I was next. And I was like really nervous because I'd never met him before, and I don't know what Jeffrey's like. So I went up to him, and he was just like super, super cool. And I'm just like, "Oh, I'm just excited to meet you. Also, looking forward to this." And he started leaning over the table. He's like, "Oh, here, I'm going to give you a hug." And he was just so, so nice. I really, really loved him. So I had him sign my mom's bat that she bought, and he wrote to Angie, let's get back to it, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and he was signing this, and he's like, oh my god, you do not understand how hard it is to sign bats. He's like, it is so difficult. I'm like, oh yeah, I bet. And I'm just like, oh, so how's the role been and everything? And he's like, oh yeah, he's like, it's been so great and so much fun, except for the people that effing hate me. And I started busting out laughing. He's really, really funny too. So he wrote, he signed this, her niece, and then he signed my poster. Very, very, very nice guy. I really, really liked meeting him. So after that, I went over to my Melissa op and started lining up for that, and I met up with my mom because I had my mom had bought a photo op for my little sister who was cosplaying as Carol, and so when we went in, my mom went in front of me, and my little sister went up to Melissa, and Melissa just thought her cosplay was like the cutest thing. So Melissa kneels down next to her, and my little sister is very serious, and she's like standing next to her, and she just like looks at Melissa like straight on, like face to face, and Melissa looks straight at her. So they were like face to face like this, and just thought they would take the picture then because that would be like really cute. But my sister ended up looking at the camera and ended up sticking out her tongue like last minute. It was a really cute picture, and Melissa just joked to her. She's like, "Oh my god, I wish I had hair like that," and we all started laughing. It was really, really cute. Then I went up for my picture, got that done. Told her thank you. She's so, so nice. I really love her. Yeah, it was way worth it. Really loved it. So after that, we went to eat some lunch and waited for my dad and sister to get there. And so after we ate lunch, my sister wasn't really getting into it too much. So I asked her if she wanted to go meet Tyler James Williams, who plays Noah on the show. But I really, really love him for his acting and Everybody Hates Chris. I grew up with that show. That's like my favorite show, my favorite sitcom. I loved it so much. So we decided to meet him. She was really excited for that, and he was so nice. And my sister asked if we could give him a kiss on the cheek, and he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, sure, that's fine." And so we did that, and he was such a nice guy. I'll put pictures in that of that in here. So after that, we decided to go line up for Tom Payne's line, and we were actually waiting a while for that. The lady that was doing the ratios of like golds and VIPs and general admissions, she did not do a very good job at it because we were waiting there for like, I want to say probably like half an hour, and there was like one gold in front of me, so I should have gone through pretty fast. But I was getting nervous because I had a photo op with Jeffrey in like a couple of minutes. So the lady finally lets us go through, and I'm trying to pick out a picture to have Tom sign on his table. They have like a bunch of 8x10s there of lithographs that you can pick from. And my sister's just like, "Oh my god, he's so hot." And I started busting out laughing, and he was like right next to us. And the lady at his table that was handling the money and everything, she's just like, "Yeah, he is. He's really hot." I just started busting out laughing. I thought that was the funniest thing. But we finally got up to him, and he was so nice, and he was like asking us about how our day was going, and where we lived and everything like that. So this is the autograph. So after that, we headed over to Jeffrey's photo op line, and I was debating whether or not to use the fake Lucille bet in our picture. But my sister decided last minute. She's like, "Oh, can I please get in your picture with you?" And I'm just like, sure, why not? After she had convinced me after a while, because she kept on asking, and I kept on saying no. But I finally let her in the picture, and so we couldn't really use the bat, I guess, in the picture. So we went up to Jeffrey, and we're like, "Oh, hi," and we took the picture, but I knew I had blinked. I remember I said to the photographer, I'm like, I think I blinked. She was just like, okay, go, go, next, next. They don't really like care. And the guy that was at the curtain in the photo op room, he's just like, if you blinked, he's like, go give it to somebody over there and they'll bring you back in line. It'll be okay. You'll get your retake. I'm like, well, I was freaking out because I've never done a retake before for a photo op. And so I ran over and I looked at the picture, and of course I blinked. So I had to take it to one of the guys at the printing stations, and he just like ripped the picture in half. He just gave it to me, and he's just like, okay. And he moved us to the front of the line, and he's like, this is your ticket. Just give it to them. Say you're doing a retake. I'm like, okay. So I went up, I'm like, oh, hey, I'm doing a retake. The lady takes my picture, and I go up to Jeffrey again, and I told him, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I blinked in the picture, and he's like, oh, well, lucky me. And he started, like, smiling and laughing, and he was just really, really cool. So we got our picture again, and we were leaving the room, and the guy at the curtain's like, didn't I tell you everything was going to be okay? And I was just like, yeah, you did, but I just like to panic a lot. So we left, and our picture came out really good. Then I decided to go line up for Melissa's autograph, and it was already getting late because I had another photo op coming up. And honestly, if you go to one of these, try to do your photo ops in one day if you're getting a bunch of them, and do your autographs in one day, because I was just trying to rush and get everything done. And I just like, oh, I have a photo op I need to line up for, but I need to get this person's autograph or whatever. So we lined up for Melissa, and she wasn't there yet because she was still doing ops. So we waited around for a bit, and I guess she had skipped like her panel so she could continue signing autographs, and she was gone most of the day doing photo ops. So she finally gets there, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not gonna get through in time because I had my Norman up in a couple minutes. But we did finally get up there, and my mom was with me, so my little sister could meet Melissa. And Melissa just thought she was the cutest thing, and so she pulled out her phone and took a selfie with my little sister. And my mom was telling my Melissa, she's like, oh, my little sister likes to, like, when she sees Norman or Andy, she'll say Rick or Daryl, but when she sees Melissa, she'll say Mom. And Melissa was just like that. She started busting out laughing. And so I got Melissa to sign this, her autograph there. And I was afraid it wasn't going to actually stay on because she was saying, like, the magazines that she was signing, like, some of the ink wouldn't stay on, but I'm surprised this one did. So after that, I literally ran out of her booth and rushed over to Norman's op line, and I was so glad I got there in time. And so the line started moving, and I finally get up to him, and I had a pose in mind because they were like telling everybody, like, oh, if you have a pose in mind, tell them really quick, or if you have a picture, show them. Like, they would say that on their Facebook. I'm like, okay, I have a picture on my phone, I'll just show them. So these ladies were like yelling at me from my phone. I'm just like, oh no, I have a picture, I want to show him, blah blah blah. They're like, okay, you're good. So I went up to Norman and I asked him, like, oh, can we do this pose? And I showed him this picture on my phone I had seen a couple months ago. I'm like, oh, this would be a cute pose to do with him. So he's just like, yeah, I can do that. And I'm like, okay. So I put my phone down. He's like, oh, come here, cutie. And he gave me a hug, and we took the picture, and it came out really, really cute. And as I was leaving the op room, my little sister wanted to say hi to him, and he's like, oh my God, you were just so adorable. I need to get a picture with you. So he stopped the whole photo op line so he could get a picture with my little sister on his phone, and it was just the cutest thing. And then we left the photo op room, and I went to go pick up my picture. And as I was getting my picture, there was this lady at the printing station, and she looked at me and she's like, oh, hey, aren't you on Instagram? I think I know you. And I'm like, oh, you do? She's like, yeah, aren't you Norman Fangirl? I'm like, yeah, that's me. She's like, oh, that's so cool, I follow you, and blah blah blah. And she was such a nice lady. I'm like, oh, do you want to take a picture? She's like, yeah, sure. And then I asked for her Instagram, and I followed her, and I'll probably put hers in the description too, so you guys can follow her. She's very, very nice. And then after that, we left for the day. We were already tired and everything, so we just left. And that was it for Saturday.